Have you ever wondered how some women that you knew went from being self-sufficient, get-her-done kind of women to just a shadow of their former self? Maybe it was your mother, your grandmother, could have been a mother-in-law or a favorite aunt. Whoever it was, you're pretty sure you don't want the same thing to happen to you. Hi, I'm Shelley from Taming Frenzy, and today I'm going to drop 3 truth bombs on you about why older women especially need to make a real concerted effort to get outside of their comfort zone. The truth of the matter is we're all getting older every day. Changes are going to come whether we like it or not. The world is going to change whether we're prepared for it or not. But here's the deal. If we don't make a conscious effort to step out of our comfort zone and to keep up with things, we may wake up one day and find that we've kind of been left behind, so to speak, that technology and that communications and things have changed to the point that it's a landscape we don't recognize anymore. We could look up and find that the world outside of us has expanded while our internal world has actually shrunk. Even worse, we might find that that small world we find ourselves in now is preventing us from fully enjoying the great big world that's out there and participating in it fully. That means we need to start taking steps now to ensure that we have the ability to step outside that comfort zone. Because whether we think we're ready or not, those changes are coming. Okay, here's truth bomb number 1. The thing is, your comfort zone is not automatically going to increase as you get older. In fact, you're probably going to find, like most of us, that it actually does just the opposite. That as we get older, our comfort zone actually shrinks a little bit. You know, a lot of the things that we used to look at as kids, you know, Dick Tracy cartoons with the smartwatch and the Jetsons with the meetings over the TVs and Rosie, the maid who took care of everything. And one of my personal favorites I really wanted was where you could just punch something and dinner came out. All of those things that were once science fiction, we're actually seeing a lot of those things now. You've probably been in a Zoom meeting or two sometime in the last few years, right? But things like communication, banking, shopping, those things have all changed a lot, even just in the last few years. And I suspect that what's probably coming is things we can't even begin to imagine right now. Things that might seem like science fiction now may be just as real in the future as things like Zoom meetings and robot vacuum cleaners and microwave ovens and such. Now, if you don't want to be like some older women that I've known who had to call your kids or your grandkids to come and fix your technology or to help you do something, then we need to be taking steps to make sure that we are keeping up the best that we can. By the way, Rosie, where are you? I've been waiting for you my entire life. You are the one thing I really wanted to see happen out of cartoons and come to reality, and I'm still waiting for you, frankly. The fact is, we don't want to become obsolete and out of touch. We want to be able to keep up and do things in the future. Truth bomb number 2. You may find that your comfort zone actually shrinks as you get older. As we get older, things may begin to seem scarier. That's pretty typical. I've seen a lot of older women in my own family become more afraid as they get older, and a lot of that's natural. They feel more vulnerable. They realize that they're aging, and things just seem a lot more frightening out there. We had this especially with my mother-in-law who passed away a couple of years ago. Things that in the past she would have tackled and never thought a second thing about began to really make her afraid, and as a result, she kind of shrunk back into her house. And like I said, her world became very, very small as she got older and more fearful. The best direction in life is always to move forward instead of moving backwards. And then truth bomb number 3, staying in your comfort zone is basically saying, this is all it's ever going to be. It's the same thing as settling for the way things are now and not even accounting for the possibility or the reality of change. Now, one little caveat here. The next thing I'm fixing to say may not apply to you. If you wake up every morning and you are happy with your life and things are going great, then you just need to ignore this third thing I'm going to say because I'm not talking to you. But here goes. As you get older, you may find that there were some hopes and dreams and some goals that you had that you've put off all your life. Maybe you've put them off because you were raised that, you know, good girls grow up and they become good mothers and they always put their kids first. or they're good wives and they're always sacrificing for their husband to make sure that his needs and things are met. Or maybe you've had elderly parents you've been taking care of. The point is, there may be things at this point in your life that you would really still like to finish. Maybe you feel a little bit of a gnawing sensation kind of down somewhere in your gut. The time is now to start working towards those. You may have put things off while you were busy raising kids, while you were out working your full-time job and taking care of a husband and the house and the dogs and all the other things that you had to do. But time is growing shorter. Let's face it. Every day we get older, time gets a little bit shorter. But here's the thing. Now is the perfect time for you to revisit those dreams and those goals and to decide what things you want to bring into your future. If you don't do it now, really and truly, when are you ever going to do it? At this point in life, the only thing holding you back really is you. We're often our own barrier to our own success. Not going for what you want is the same thing as giving up and saying, I surrender. I'm not going to ask for anything else. I'm okay with the status quo. And maybe I'm okay with putting all those goals and dreams on the back burner and just, letting them die a natural death. But how are you going to feel about that in the future? Even if maybe today you think, okay, I'm not going to pursue that goal or something. I still have other things in my life holding me back. How are you going to feel at some point in the future? Are you going to be regretful that you did not take a chance on yourself and that you didn't give yourself the opportunity to maybe accomplish or to do something that you wanted? Is that going to make you feel better or worse about yourself in the future? It's a rhetorical question. You already know the answer. And yes, you may be sitting there thinking to yourself, okay, Shelley, I try something new. I've had this goal I've always wanted to do, and I go for it, and then I fail. Well, that's always a possibility anytime we try something. Most of us have lived long enough at this point that we have failed at several things, maybe many, but we've also succeeded at some things too. That, unfortunately, is just life. Unfortunately, not trying, not giving it your best, those are usually the things that we regret. In fact, they say that on our deathbed, we don't regret the things that we did. We generally regret the things that we did not do. Here's the other thing. If you've lived any length of time at this point, you should have learned, and you probably have learned, that just because you fail at something doesn't mean you're a failure. And the other thing is, failing at something's not the end of the world. They can't kill you if you fail at something. However, not trying something might kill your spirit inside. That may be actually worse in the long run anyway. Besides, as long as you're still here on this earth, and as long as you're still breathing, and as long as you're still moving around, as long as you're still kicking, there is always time to regroup, to learn something new. Maybe you tried something that didn't work. Okay, back up a little bit. Think about how you might change that in the future. Give it another shot. As long as you're still here and as long as you're still breathing and as long as there's something in your spirit that wants to achieve something, it is not too late. In fact, it's not ever over until you make the conscious decision to quit. Regret, on the other hand, is a wicked emotion. It gnaws at you and it chews on you. It makes you ask yourself those questions that there really aren't any answers to. All those what ifs. Regret will leave you with more questions than you will ever get the answers to. So those are 3 reasons why older women especially, why we need to make a conscious effort to expand our comfort zones, to get out of those comfort zones, to make sure we're doing things to keep up with changes that are coming all the time in the world, and also to go after anything that might be left in your life that is an unmet goal or an unmet dream. Now is the time to do that. The question is just, are you going to do that? Or are you willing to see your world shrink? And are you willing to maybe deal with fear and a little bit of regret later, or a lot of regret? Or maybe, just maybe, it would be a little easier now to start taking some steps to expand that comfort zone, to start doing the things that you want and need to do to make your future better and one that you will be happy about. Be sure to watch the rest of the videos in this series on comfort zones. And in the meantime, go tame a little bit of your frenzy.